Дорогие друзья, сегодня вы будете слушать голоса певцов, которые, наверное, вам знакомы, известны. Но каждая встреча с ними приносит такую радость и счастье, такое наслаждение их мастерством, что, я думаю, много никогда не бывает таких встреч. Итак, сегодня мы слушаем голоса Ирины Архиповой, Беллы Руденко, Евгения Нестеренко, Елены Образцовой, Владимира Атлантова и так называемые певцы, представители грузинской школы пения. Нугзар Ангуладзе, Зураб Саткилава, Маквала Касрашвили. Наслаждайтесь волшебными звуками их голосов.
Я уже много лет проработал в театре, а в театре все время приходили, молодежь приходила. Один, второй, третий, ну, хорошие были, и многие потом, в общем, стали такими, ну, известными певцами, ну, такой, как Ведерников, Марк Решетин, ну, Артур Эйзен, с хорошими голосами, хорошие басы, ну, и многие другие. Но и вдруг появилась Ирина Константиновна Архипова. Когда она первый раз запела, а я был тогда в художественном совете, то все мы невольно начали переговариваться. И я помню, Ханаев говорит, ну, это будет большая певица. Ну и действительно, мы не ошиблись, она стала большой, да какой большой, на весь мир знаменитой певицей.
Сломали. Что сделали-то над этой красотой? А ты взяли в поле не калинушка, уже грустно. Не может этого быть. Сначала, наоборот, надежда.
Irina Archipova is famous not only as a singer, but also as a teacher and the president of many international voice competitions. She shares her great knowledge and experience with young singers. Unfortunately, all the recordings of Galina Vishnevskaya after her departure from Soviet Union were destroyed. And the fragment of Aida, which you have seen now, is a real video rarity. Mazurok, the great Russian baritone, is one of the few Soviet singers who made a big international career.
Dell'amico tuo primo
There are even more excellent Russian singers who are not presented in this edition due to one reason. It was impossible to find any of the right video materials, but I would like to mention their names. Ognevtsev, Orfenov, Laptev, Preobrazhenskaya, Davidova, Shumilova, Bogacheva, Leferkus, Vedernikov, Eisen, Ochotnikov. The young generation of singers from Russia and former Soviet Union, here represented by only 3 singers, is very strong and promises for the next millennium, like Vladimir Chernov, Maria Gulegina, Pata Burchuladze, Larisa Didkova, Gegam Grigoryan, Nikolai Putilin. It was a great coloratura soprano school and technique in Ukraine. One of the great representatives of this school is soprano Bela Rudenko, who used to perform for 30 years in the Bolshoi theater. Now I would like to talk about singers who are really very well known in the West, and they are of course known for you. And they started to perform at the time of so-called iron screen between East and West. But anyway, they were able to show their art in the West, and they were cream of the cream of this so-called last period, last 15-20 years of history of Russian bel canto school. And the names are Elena Obrazcova, mezzo-soprano, Vladimir Atlantov, tenor,
and Evgeny Nesterenko, bass. Teacher of Evgeny Nesterenko, for instance, Professor Lukanin, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man, great professor of St. Petersburg Conservatory. He used to be a successor of Shaliapin, and he also knew this great school of singing, and he was taught by Everardi, the same teacher who were a teacher of Shaliapin through Mr. Usatov. So it's a great tradition of Italian bel canto also in St. Petersburg Conservatory.
Князь, ты здешний пленник мой, ты ведь гость у меня, дорогой. Знай, друг, верь мне, ты, князь, мне полюбился, за отвагу твою. Я уважаю тебя, князь, ты люб мне был всегда, знай. Да, я не враг тебе здесь, а хозяин я твой, ты мне гость дорогой, так поведай же мне, чем же худо тебе. Шатер, возьми булат самирный, ведь тело немало вражьих крови, мечом я этим пролил, не раз в боях кровавых, ужас смерти подвластна, я красою для всех был всегда. Я храбр, я смел, страха я не знаю, все боятся меня, за крепости кругом, а ты меня не боялся, пощады ты не просил, князь. Ах, не врагом быть твоим, а союзником верным, а другом надежным, а братом твоим мне хотелось быть. Ты поверь мне. Хочешь ты пленницу с моря дальнего, тягу невольницу из-за Каспия? Если хочешь, скажи только слово мне, я тебе подарю. У меня есть красавицы чудные, косы, как змеи, на плечи спускаются, очи темные влагой потернуты, нежно и страстно глядят из-под чарных огней. Что ж молчишь ты? Если хочешь любовью из них
I find today's singers from Russia among the most fascinating in the world. I was so fortunate to begin my career with great singers like George Dubrovsky, who sang with Shalyapin, and a great teacher, Julia Drobner, who also was from Russia. They gave me a great feeling of what the Russian singers from yesteryear were about. Today we have incredible singers. The first one I met, Miss Obraztsova, we met in Barcelona when she did her first Samson and Delilah. It's of course an incredibly beautiful voice. To be able to carry that voice, that tradition of singing, into this new century of Samson and Delilah and Aida and other operas that we have done is an excitement, bringing an excitement to opera that is really wonderful.
Елена Образцова, it's hard to talk about Образцова because she's really something so new. She was so new, she did so incredible things on the stage at the Bolshoi Theater and all over the world. And the new thing is that she was using her voice in such a interesting and unknown way for many of the mezzos, because she loved very much the chest voice. And she used it really so free, and that made her performances really special.
Bianco
It was quite a joy when Atlantova came to the Metropolitan Opera to sing Pagliacci and to sing Otello. The first performance of Pagliacci, I was sitting in the prompter's box. He was so moving that I began to cry. And he said afterwards, "Oh, I made you cry." I said, "Yes, you were just so wonderful." And every performance that he did afterwards, he checked down and looked at me just to make sure that I was crying each time, which I did. He was singing so beautifully, with so much feeling, so much heart put into the music. But he still had time to check and see if I was crying each time.
The name I would love to mention, because this man is, it's a very dear name for me, because he was my wonderful partner on the many European and American stages. And first of all, it's a great Otello of Vladimir Atlantov. It's a really great voice, fantastic voice. And by the way, those three people, Obrazcova, Atlantov, and Nesterenko, they are from St. Petersburg, former Leningrad Conservatory. And we used to call them in Russia those three greatest. Now I would like to talk about singers who are representing so-called Georgian school. Georgia is a former republic of Soviet Union based on Caucasus mountains. And I don't know, probably because of the climate of Georgia, which reminds me so much the climate of Italy. Georgia producing and famous for producing high voices. And talking about those singers who will later listen, like tenors Anguladze, Anjaparidze, Sotkilava, and sopranos Tsesana Tatishvili and Makvala Kasrashvili. We understand that probably some bacteria in Georgian wine is so famous to produce such beautiful high voices, like Italian voices. And I would like to mention also the name of Pata Borchuladze, who is bass. So it's pretty rare that Georgia is giving basses. So normally it's high voices. And the color of these voices reminds me so much the Italian color of voices, because this is like, you know, beautiful dark red wine, which we all love so much. So Georgian voices, you know, are like red wine. And listening to the voice of Makvala Kasrashvili and looking at her, you understand that it's some similarity between the Italians and Georgian people. They are open-minded, they are beautiful souled, and they singing with this, you know, beautiful, warm, deep color of red wine.